Hey everybody, this is Michael Klein from EastOaksStudio. Thank you for joining us. Today we're doing a little test of our new live streaming platform. One of the things that we're going to be talking about is just what live stream is going to bring to the table and the kind of access that we're going to be able to give our audience to what we're doing. So it's been probably about 15 to 18 years. I don't know exactly when. I can't remember. It was early 90 or early 2000. So like 1999, 2000 is when I first started in the Atelier system. And I remember thinking if I could just see what other people were doing across the world, across the country, if I could be plugged in, it would be a great opportunity to be able to see and experience what other people are doing. And so that's part of this initiative. We're excited to be able to do this. This is going to be built into part of what we offer at East Oaks. We're thinking about doing online workshops. We're thinking about doing online classes and some free content through live stream. Another thing that we're excited about in the coming month is we're going to be releasing a new instructional video by a good friend of ours, Carlo Russo. Carlo is an incredible still life painter, and we are super honored to be able to work with him and offer his debut instructional video on painting glass. So we just sent out an email today. If you're not part of that email group, feel free to email us at info@eastoaksstudio.com. That's one way. You can go to the website and sign up and submit your email that way. So we're going to be talking about that, but also this idea of what I want to do, just so you could see everything that we've kind of set up here, is I wanted to do a little giveaway. I wanted to do a little sketch of a cast painting that I've recently done. So I have my palette set up to the right here, and you can enter questions into the chat. I'm not going to be able to address them all right now, but at the end we'll take 5 to 10 minutes to address some of the questions. But I have my Grisaille palette set up next to my full spectrum palette, and the only reason I have it set up like this is because I didn't want to confuse you and have me painting a monochrome painting and my full palette be set up. So basically, if I do any kind of monochrome painting, it's with this palette. So that's why I have it just kind of displayed like that, so you can understand how I use it. So the other cool thing about this, apart from if you hear any noise, it's just because we have a studio that's located between a restaurant and an event space. So they get ready for events and they make noise. So forgive us for if there's any banging upstairs. It's Friday afternoon, so it's. But the cool thing about this is, so I'm going to be able to allow you access into my personal space through the phone. So with the phone, you can see what I'm looking at. So I have my cast painting set up there. And that's going to be really useful. So if in the future, if someone asks a question, you can ask me to hold up my phone and you can see exactly what I'm doing with the way I have my paint set up. It's just an up close and personal shot of my setup and anything I'm doing that the cameras can't capture. But I want to get started on the painting because that's what I'm sure a lot of you are here to see. You don't want to listen to me talk. So, all right, so I'm going to get cranking on this. I have Gamsol here off to my right. And when I started this painting in the class, I did just a really quick underpainting of burnt sienna and blue. And it was on the larger painting, and I had the cast set up, and it was a class. And so, but with this, basically, I was just knocking down the white, which I do often. It depends on what I'm working on, but so that's it. for that stage. The next stage, and it also allows me to, in the future, if there's any little snippets that I want to allow to show through on the panel, then I can just leave it, and it creates that warm and cool color harmony. So off to my right on this palette, I have raw sienna, white, titanium white, and lead white, burnt sienna, ultramarine blue, ivory black, burnt umber, and raw umber. So moving in, I remember the background, it was a black fabric, and I talked about it being a cool color, so I wanted to grab my neutral blue, which is ivory black, and so I would use that in this painting. Again, I'll just show for the people who are signing in maybe late, is I'm going to do a little copy of this painting that's on the desk, and so this is my painting thus far. So I used the background, and I marked where my top was, and the angle of the shoulder, and the back, and then came in hip. This is cast shed over here, so I wanted it to be really dark. So I did almost pure black in back there. Then coming over to the left of the background, this is all block-in stuff, so I'm thinking two-dimensional. So then you have this, and you have, so like the block is hip. Okay. So then I just basically put in the rest of the background. So you see how that warmth comes through? So it's just kind of nice. If I had only the white canvas, you wouldn't see that. So again, I'm going to flip to my phone. So if you go up to the original, and I show you this original painting here, you can see that in the background, see the underpainting there? See how it comes through? That's basically what I did. I just painted that quick wash of the burnt sienna and blue. So so that would be a section. You see that popping through it. All right, enough with the little background section. Now I would come in and I'd be thinking about two things. I'd be thinking about the shadow side, and I'd be thinking about the light of the cast. And for everyone who's tuning in maybe late, what we're doing today is we're testing the live stream. So we want to, in the future, we want to be able to offer classes so that you can interact with us. We'll have different, potentially we'll have different tiers of classes. So it could be a one-on-one. It could be a group of 5 students. It could be open format where there could be a larger audience. So you'd be able to interact with the instructor based on the level of kind of the class that you're paying for. If it was a private class, you would probably have the computer open, and you'd be able to chat and FaceTime with the instructor, and then you would have all these beautiful angles. So those are just ideas that we're playing with. The other ideas, we want to be able to offer some more free content, and if we can do that in a live stream format, it's helpful for us to be able to create more content for you and interact with you about questions that you have. So I'm going to keep cranking on this. I'm going to grab the shadow, which would be raw umber. Okay. I just block in some section here. Cooled it off a little bit. The hip. So then I would grab my white, and I would just go in and I would mass in this entire section here. And it would be the same if I was doing it on a larger, if I was doing it on the larger painting, which is the one I'm looking at. Again, for all you who are possibly signing in to figure out how to win this little sketch, what we would like from you is that if you could email us at info@EastOaksStudio with your comments and suggestions about how this live stream felt, what you thought of it, maybe some suggestions about future classes. By emailing us, you'll be entered into a pool of names, and then we'll select one here in a little bit off camera, and I'll announce it on Instagram. So this is a little copy of a painting that I had done in a class here at the studio. And the class was 4 sessions. They were 4 hours a session. So the little painting that I'm looking at, you can see here. So the painting that I'm looking at over there, that was a 16-hour sketch. And so I'm doing a little copy here of that sketch over there. There's my palette. All right. This live stream's not going to be super long, but I want to go long enough to where you can see a little bit of what I'm doing on this cast here. In a little bit, I'll be taking some questions from the audience. I'd like to know if you could do me a favor, and we have Joe back on the switcher. He's doing the live production. If you could chat in and just say where you're joining from, so that we could kind of get a sense of what our audience is and where you're at, that would be really great. So here is on my palette, this is very common. I have basically 3 things going on. I have this string of, this is my string of values that I'm constantly talking about. I talk about it in my Floral Painting Insights DVD. I talk about it in my new Still Life DVD. But it's all about understanding where you're at on the scale here according to your light source. So if I have a plane on my cast that's facing more perpendicular to the light, and then I just have to travel up into my lights because it's receiving more light as it on the sphere as it goes back and it goes down, and you lose your light source and it goes into shadow. Then I slide left on my palette. So I don't even really, after a while, I don't even think about it. I'm just looking at the setup and thinking about where the plane is facing, and I work accordingly on my palette. So if you want a chance to win this little sketch, you can email us at info@EastOaksStudio and tell us what you think of the live broadcast. One of our goals at the studio is we want to do everything as well as we can. So that would mean the production end of things. We want it to be as good of an experience for the viewer as possible. And I started out the live stream talking about when I was in school years ago, what it would have been like to be able to communicate with people and get some advice and ask an instructor something, or see what he was doing or she was doing, and be able to reach out to people and connect with people. And now the technology is caught up so that we can actually do this. This is a pretty fascinating opportunity for not only teaching, but it's a wonderful opportunity for building community and interacting with people. So Joe, really quickly, I want to, is there like a question you could look at and throw out of someone who may have, yeah?
Somebody from Salt Lake City
Okay, excellent. What's their name?
Gustavo Ramos.
Okay, Gustavo Ramos. All right, what is the question?
There is a question, he's just here.
Oh, so there's no questions. Is there anybody with a question? Huh?
Not yet.
Is there anyone on the live stream?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Okay, good. All right. So the 18 people who are on, you can ask a question about what I'm doing on my palette, and I'll try to address it. Or on my painting. Any questions? Okay. So the 18 people who are watching, don't be shy. Please ask me a question if you'd like to ask anything. What brushes I'm using, what we're doing here today, how you can win this little painting, or whatever you want to ask me. What if it's the link in Instagram, if it's difficult to find us? All right, well, I'm gonna, what would you guys like, what do you think? What do you suggest? Should I sign off? What do you think, Joe?
Just keep painting it.
Okay. I can keep painting.
We've got a question from Derek.
Okay, excellent. What is it?
Are you thinking about what direction your brushstrokes are going in relative to the formula of painting, or is there
Yep.
any method
Method.
about direction of your strokes?
Yeah. Not really. For the most part, especially when I'm starting, the block-in would have been an opportunity where I'm thinking about larger angles for the background when I did the silhouette of the cast. But as far as when I was placing the shadows, that was more about shape than about brushstroke. I wouldn't really think about brushstrokes unless it was some area of paint that I was particular about wanting to build up or create an effect that would be the clavicle or the deltoid or something. If it was in the lights and I was wanting to build up texture, then I may think about it. But for the most part, it's not in my mind a lot.
Okay, we've got another one from Gustavo Ramos.
Okay, excellent.
He's started to do wipeout underpainting.
Did I do
Is it easy to start with paint painting like you're doing?
It's not easy? Is that?
Do you find it easier?
Oh, okay. You can. I've done both ways. I don't think it's particularly easier. I think the level of difficulty, it may speed up the process or it may create a different effect, but it's not necessarily easier. Your level of ability and your knowledge of painting comes over time, and it's something that I think is a gradual, you slowly kind of have these aha moments of understanding, and that then starts to make painting easier. I don't think it's just because you do a wipeout that it's going to be easier. I hope that makes sense.
Okay, another question.
Yeah.
Golden Street would like to know if safflower oil is slower drying than walnut oil.
Oh man. So I'm going to direct all technical questions to George O'Hanlon at Natural Pigments. Feel free to join their blog and ask them whatever you want. This live stream is more about sharing with the audience what we're doing. That's not to avoid the question, but I don't want to get too into the technicalities of paint because I really don't know a lot about to say with 100% certainty of what things do. So it would be a rabbit hole that I don't want to enter into. But so the idea is that we're doing this live stream so that people can email us their thoughts and have a chance to win this little sketch. Tell us what you think about this live stream and some feedback as far as just what you would like to see us do. That's really helpful because then we can get a sense of what our audience wants. The other thing we're doing is we're celebrating the pre-sale launch of Carlo Russo's upcoming instructional DVD, which is a really great DVD. I got to watch it recently, and there's a ton of information in it. So we're going to be sharing with you the trailer as we finish up this broadcast. So, any other questions before we maybe?
Yeah.
No. Okay.
Michael, one suggestion.
Uh-huh.
Make sure you repeat the question.
Okay. Okay.
They can't.
Oh, they didn't hear it. Okay. That's good. That's excellent. Well, in the future, well, that's why we want you to email in because I don't really know what I can hear Joe, but I didn't realize that you all couldn't hear the question. So I apologize about that. So go ahead and feel free to email us any ideas, any thoughts, and you will get a chance to win this little cast painting I'm doing. So it's been a pleasure hanging out with you for the last 20 minutes or whatever it's been. I thank you for tuning in, Salt Lake City, wherever everyone else is from. It's a lot of fun. So please email us your thoughts, and we're going to close with this snippet of Carlo Russo's trailer. Go to our website. You can pre-sale, order it, and you'll save $25 off of the, I think it's marked at $119. The pre-sale price, pre-order deal is $95. So go check it out, and we'll see you next time.
Oil painting, it's like an art of subtlety. Tiny little microns of paint can make that needed shift. I'm going to be using a technique called sight sizing. That allows me to record proportions of what I'm going to be drawing or painting quickly and accurately. And I think that's very important. Being a studio artist is learning how to be efficient. As the painter, you want to be in control of your tools, your equipment. I think that's really important, is having a comfort level and a mastery with your tools so that you can sort of get them to do what you need them to do, not the other way around. My name's Carlo Russo. I'm going to be taking you through my technique from drawing to finished painting. So thank you for being here, and we're going to get to it.